Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Cristo Rey Network Virtual College Fair powered by StriveScan. My name is Sibel. I will be your facilitator for this evening's session. I'm super excited to have you all here. Couple housekeeping items before we get started and have a word from the Cristo Rey Network. Couple things here. So your camera and microphone are turned off, okay? As an attendee, you're muted, your video is turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you, but no worries there. If you'd like to interact and ask any questions, what's going to be really awesome is that Q&A button in your Zoom toolbar. So in your Zoom toolbar, there is that Q&A button. You can use that Q&A button to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. Now, I do want to make sure that I make it very clear that we will not have a live Q&A at the end with attendee questions. So please make sure to not wait till the last minute to ask those awesome and important questions, okay? But also, if you could do me a favor, please put the institution's name or the school's name within your question, just so we all know who the question goes to. That would be super awesome. Also, sign up for more sessions. This is one out of many, many college presentations offered, and please make sure to check the schedule on the website to check those out. We will have another Cristo Rey Network Virtual College Fair, I believe, this weekend, so definitely check that out too. And also, let's say if maybe mom missed out on tonight, or maybe a friend, you wanted a friend, to be with you tonight to check out these schools, or maybe you just want to relive the fun with us. Well, guess what? That would be awesome. A recording will be available, so no worries if anyone missed out. All sessions are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Cristo-Rey. So you can check that out within the next few days. Last but not least, also check the chat if you see any notifications pop up. Our presenters and panelists could be sending you some amazing information in the chat. So although you cannot interact back and forth in the chat, definitely check it out. And again, use the Q&A to ask those questions. Now, with that said, before we get started with our presentations, I would love to go ahead and show you all a video and a word from Cristo Rey Network.
Welcome to the first ever Cristo Rey Network Virtual College Fair. We congratulate you students and parents for taking the next step in preparing for college by attending today. We're so glad you're here, and we're glad Father John Foley is here as well.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It is indeed a privilege and a blessing to be able to collaborate in this first ever event for the Cristo Rey Network, the Cristo Rey Network schools. All of us, students, teachers, parents, all of us were born with certain gifts, and all we go through life trying to make those gifts contribute even more to the world we live in. This world is our responsibility. God entrusted this world to us, and it's up to us to make the best of what God has given us. And that's what education is all about. It's about taking what the gifts that God has given us, the virtues that God has implanted in our souls, and making them as effective as they can be. So education is a way of making my contribution to the world even better.
Thank you, Father Foley. So students, today your community surrounds you. With over 23,000 alumni nationwide and 37 high schools in 24 states, currently 12,000 students, and 5,000 of those students are juniors and seniors, just like you. We're joined by 115 participating colleges. These colleges are ready to invest in your future. Some of these colleges have been partnering with us for over a decade. You'll have the opportunity, students and parents, to attend a Financial Aid 101 session offered in either English or in Spanish. If you don't attend every session, don't worry, it'll be available on YouTube, so you won't miss anything. Don't forget about the Ask Me About session. This is your opportunity to ask any question you want and to leave confident that you came and feel empowered to start your college journey. We thank you all for your commitment to your future, classes of 2022 and 2023, and your parents and guardians, students, college counselors, and college representatives. Thank you all for being here.
como una última palabra, le pedimos al Señor que bendiga a todos los que están envueltos en este esfuerzo de familiarizarnos mejor con el mundo académico de la universidad. Que el Señor bendiga la buena voluntad el deseo de todos para mejorar este mundo y para mejorar las vidas de los que nos rodean. Que el Señor bendiga este gran familia Cristo Rey.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Cristo Rey Network. So with that said, without further ado, I'd love to introduce our first institution up for today, and that would be the University of Portland.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm just going to make sure I can get my visual pulled up for you, and then I will go ahead and turn on my camera, and then we will get started. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Cassandra Esparza. I use she, her, aya pronouns. I am an assistant director in the Office of Admissions at the University of Portland, and I'm really excited to help you learn a little bit more about the University of Portland today, and if anything, just give you an introduction into the college search and giving you ideas in terms of factors of fit that you may be interested in as you dive into your college search and learn about a lot of different types of institutions. Before I formally dive into our content, I will share with you our land acknowledgement. We start all of our events, whether virtual or in person, with this, so I thank you in advance for letting me open up our time together with this today. The University of Portland occupies and rests on traditional village sites of the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Cathlamet, Clackamas, bands of Chinook, Tualatin, Kalapuya, Molalla, and many other tribes who made their homes along the Columbia River, creating communities and summer encampments to harvest and use the plentiful natural resources of the area. We take this opportunity today to thank the original caretakers of our land. We also have some really great resources on our website if you would like to learn more about the thriving Native community in Portland or in Oregon in general. And we also have some resources to help you learn about the land that you occupy, as I know that we may be having folks join us from a lot of different places today. So thank you again for that. And with that, I will dive into our content for the day. Please hang with me. I'm having my PowerPoint is a little bit slow to switch over. So if my slides keep going back and forth, that is why. But we are going to start today with just some basics about the University of Portland. I want to share with you in one sentence that I could say that the University of Portland is a small, private, Catholic, comprehensive teaching institution. Now, I want to break that down for you a little bit, and you will see here on the slide, as soon as we are able to get that switched over, there we go, that has a few factors that play into that. So location-wise, we are located in Portland, Oregon. We are about 15 minutes, 20 minutes north of the downtown area itself. So there's a couple of pictures down at the bottom of the slide here, a couple of really awesome aerial views to give you a good idea in terms of context, right? So we are not an urban campus, but we're not necessarily a suburban campus either. That's one of my favorite things about the University of Portland. Our location, I believe, plays really nicely into students' maybe likes and preferences when it comes to moving or being in an urban setting and being close to a city. I love that when you look over the bluff, you can visually see where downtown Portland is, but you're not in the middle of it all the time. So it gives students a really nice kind of physical break and then mental break. Campus is where you live, where you sleep, where you study, where you focus. But once you are ready to explore Portland a little bit more, downtown is just at your fingertips, as well as the amazing neighborhoods that surround the University of Portland and that go throughout the rest of the city as well. We are a little bit of a smaller school, currently standing at about 4,200 students, with a few hundred graduate students. So we are primarily an undergraduate institution. That will put your average class size at about 24 students, never really going over that 30 student threshold. And we do have a small student to faculty ratio. As I mentioned in that brief kind of description sentence of University of Portland, we are a Catholic institution. We are a member of the Holy Cross, and about 45% of our students tell us that they identify as Catholic. So we have a really wide array of faith backgrounds represented on campus. So we put a lot of emphasis on what it means to be an inclusive institution when it comes to faith, and students bringing that background with them when they join our community. So we have a lot of folks coming from different faith backgrounds and non-faith backgrounds. The best way that I can kind of put this experience in words for you when it comes to students diving into what faith means to them is that this is always here as an invitation for you and never as an expectation. So there are abundant opportunities for you to explore what faith might mean to you if that's something that you want to dive into. Being a comprehensive institution and offering a liberal arts background for all of our students, a part of that is including theology and philosophy coursework in the core curriculum for all students. So in terms of requirements, when it comes to us being a Catholic institution, students are required to take 2 theology classes during their time at University of Portland. And then again, beyond that, you are welcome to take advantage of those opportunities that exist, should that be something that you want to experience for yourself. We also don't want folks to forget that a big part of our mission is returning to our communities and serving them, or serving the communities that we find ourselves in. So for us, that is Portland, that is the North Portland community. And we offer a lot of opportunities for students to get involved in that through service or different pieces where students can get involved and find a way to be a little bit more active. Again, being liberal arts and a teaching university, what this means for the teaching aspect is that our professors are dedicated to being in the classroom teaching you, right? Now, I don't want you to mistake this for us not being a strong research institution. While our professors are committed to being in the classroom with you teaching, we do still have opportunities for students to dive into undergraduate research. So that is very much there. We break down our majors into 5 different schools: the College of Arts and Sciences, and then we have the School of Business, the School of Education, the School of Engineering, and the School of Nursing. Those 4 professional programs, so those last 4 that I mentioned, those are direct entry programs. With that liberal arts and core curriculum offering that we have that I briefly mentioned, that allows us to give students a holistic approach to learning and providing you all with a well-rounded education. Again, with that core curriculum piece that becomes really important. No matter what major you are, you will dive into that. About 75% of our students are from out of state, and that's one of my favorite things about our campus, as we are a little bit smaller, right? So many of our students are experiencing Portland and Oregon for the first time when they join the UP community, and that adds some really great vibrancy and some also kind of well-integrated pieces of folks wanting to bond and create community and meet each other, because a lot of people are in a new place for the first time. So we all go through that experience together when you become a University of Portland student. We do require first-year students to live on campus for the first year. You are more than welcome to return for a second, third, or 4th year. Most common trend that I see is students living on campus for 2 years and moving off campus for 2 years. So that's a nice combination. Students on our campus are incredibly active, and they do that through participating in our various student clubs. If y'all are curious to learn more about the types of clubs that we offer, I highly encourage you to follow us on social media, where we tend to tag a lot of those clubs, and you can really see in live time what those student clubs are up to. They have been incredibly excited to get back to in-person experiences this year, so things are definitely up and running as we've kind of gone into the year, and those clubs are thriving. Study abroad is an option for all majors, so that is something that we don't want your experience to be limited given what you choose to study. So there is an option for everybody if that's something you're interested in. Athletically, we are a Division I school participating in the West Coast Conference with 16 different varsity sports, and we also offer different levels for students to be involved in, whether that's at the club level or the intramural level as well. Again, several other opportunities for students to get involved, whether that's service or taking advantage of things like diversity and inclusion programming, or being a part of our first generation student programming on campus as well. And those pieces are mentorship pieces, so you would get to work with students who are sophomore, juniors, or seniors at University of Portland. I want to briefly give you just a few highlights about what our application process is like. We are a rolling admissions school with a recommended deadline of November 15th. If you hear back, you will hear back within 4 to 6 weeks from the time that you submit all of your materials along with your application. And this is a non-binding decision. So if you are accepted, it is non-binding. You get to hang on to that until May 1st. We do require an essay, so you'll see that in your application, whether you decide to apply with the Common App or the UP app. And then we require a high school transcript and 1 letter of recommendation. We are test optional for SAT or ACT this year, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to leave you with a couple of QR codes and I will slap some of this stuff in the chat as well. So keep an eye out for that. You can virtually visit us, you can visit us in person, or find your admissions counselor. Here's a quick snippet of admissions counselors that I will send to you in the chat and our social media handles. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, University of Portland. If you have any questions for the University of Portland, please put it in the Q&A down at the bottom. Next up, we have Seattle University.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sibel. I appreciate it so much. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. Excuse me, my name is Nicole. I use she, her, ella pronouns, and I'm an admissions counselor here at Seattle University. I am also joined by two of my colleagues here as well, who are kind of new in the admissions world, so they are going to be helping me moderate the chat. So please send any questions you might have here, and we will get to them before the end of the session. Before beginning, the following statement is offered as a way for our community to recognize this land and our history, to honor the people past and present who belong to this place, to create common and consistent language for our events and ceremonies, and to have language that was crafted with care and wisdom. As we begin, I respectfully acknowledge Seattle University is on occupied Coast Salish land, and that Seattle University is on the homelands of the Duwamish people. I pay respect to the Coast Salish elders, past and present, and extend that respect to their descendants and to all Indigenous people. To get us started, I'm going to share some basic facts about who we are and what might shape your experience here at Seattle U. The red border on this slide is our entire campus, nestled in the heart of the ever-inclusive Capitol Hill. What's really special about our campus is our connection with the greater city of Seattle. Although we are interconnected, Seattle U's campus is truly an oasis in the city. Seattle U is a Jesuit Catholic university. The Jesuits were founded 500 years ago with the goal of a transformative and holistic education for each student, which is what we aim to maintain to this day. You'll see some helpful numbers here. SU is considered a mid-sized university. We have around 7,300 students, 4,800 of those students being undergraduates, while the rest are a blend of graduates and law students. All of our classes are 100% taught by SU faculty. You'll find your average class size at Seattle U is about 18 students with an overall ratio of 11 students to 1 professor campus-wide. Now to talk a bit about academics. At SU, our goal in the classroom is to empower purposeful leaders to serve the greater good. I'm going to touch on some highlights that help propel our students forward in academics here at SU. Starting off with our direct entry programs, we offer the distinct advantage of considering freshman applicants for direct admission to specific majors. Accordingly, there are specific requirements for admission to certain majors, which I'll go over later. At the center of Seattle U's academic experience is the core curriculum. With an emphasis on rigorous contemporary courses, the core is comprised of 12 classes taken over 4 years. These classes are designed by faculty members who have used their expertise to shape the content of each class, and the curriculum invites students into engaged learning about themselves, their communities, and the world. We also have resources on campus for pre-professional advising. These subject areas include pre-law, pre-health, pre-education, essentially anything that's continuing your education after completing your bachelor's degree. We have a great office that assists you with that specific pre-professional advising. Through our pre-major studies program, you'll find the support you need to embark upon your educational path. We don't like to call our students undecided because there are plenty of subjects you are all passionate about. Our pre-major advisors are there to support you as you enter college and help you declare a major by the end of your sophomore year that still has you on track to graduate in 4 years. When you arrive at SU, we want to make sure you're finding your home away from home here. To help with that, we have over 150 student clubs and organizations that range in focus from community service, cultural heritage, identity-based groups, honor societies, professional development, and outdoor recreation. Some of our student clubs include KXSU radio station, our Indigenous Student Association, our Black Student Union, our Japanese Student Association, Outdoor Adventure and Recreation Club, and so many more. We want to ensure you find a community where you feel at home to help find your passion, your purpose, and the people you can build these connections with. We have an array of cultural and identity-based groups so students can join and find that haven on campus. I do want to chat just a little bit about the holistic approach we use to application review. Essentially, when I'm reading your application, I am not laser focused on your GPA and your grade trend. I really take everything in your file into consideration. I'm going to kind of work along this circle here. So starting with academic rigor, grade trend, and overall GPA, these three are things I do need to look at to make sure when I am inviting you to campus, you will continue to be academically successful and continue to thrive in the classroom. For academic rigor, this kind of just shows us what kind of courses you're choosing to put yourself in. Are you challenging yourself a bit, taking those difficult courses, the APs, the honors, etc. For grade trend, we want to see your consistency during school. Did you have a dip in your grades due to an unforeseen event? We encourage our students to reach out and tell us about those things so we can take that into consideration when reviewing your application. Our middle GPA is around a 3.4 to 3.9. However, we review all students of all GPAs. At SU, we are test optional, so there is no advantage or disadvantage in submitting your SAT or your ACT scores. Next on the circle here, we have our major prerequisites. These prereqs will be critical for students that are interested in programs that are math and science heavy. The prereqs do vary from major to major, but I encourage you to look on our website into the major you are curious about to find more information. Some classes that might be required are classes such as pre-calculus, chemistry, biology. It all really depends on what major you're looking into. The last three sections here in our circle are leadership and activities, the essay, and our letters of recommendation. These are all sections within the Common App. Our leadership and activity section is a place to tell us everything you're involved in outside of the classroom. Do you babysit your family member or your sibling, your cousins? Are you involved in ASB? Do you play sports, an instrument? Are you passionate about art? We want to know this because it gives us a more well-rounded view into who you are. For the essay, since we're already getting all the things you're involved in, be sure to use this space to be creative and tell us something more about you. For the final section, the letters of recommendation, we ask for a letter from a teacher and also a counselor. Moving on now, for our annual cost of tuition, we are looking at something around $67,000. I want to stress that each total estimated cost varies per student. I recognize Seattle U sticker price can be extremely intimidating, but with that being said, 91.5% of our students on campus are receiving significant aid. We look at financial aid in two separate pillars. First, we have our merit scholarships. This is money you receive directly from SU based on what we see on your common application. The second pillar is money you receive based on filing the FAFSA. This is the free application for federal student aid. I would implore you all to apply for the FAFSA. It is free and there's just money waiting for your education. With those two pillars, that becomes your financial aid package. And to this package, you can add any outside scholarships you apply to. I'd encourage you to apply to those as well. If you have chosen to apply early action, which means you apply by November 15th, you also have the opportunity to apply for our Sullivan Leadership Award. This is a development program designed to cultivate ethical leadership. And each year, Seattle U selects 9 incoming freshmen to receive this award that covers their undergraduate tuition for all 4 years of study. That just about wraps up my portion of this wonderful 6x6 Drive Scan session. That was a mouthful. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. Thank you to Sibel and her team members who arranged this amazing program and the Cristo Rey network. I appreciate you all for hanging with me. I will be around until the end of the mini fair here. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat or take note of my information here and you can reach out via email or phone. I look forward to connecting in the future. Best of luck and thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Seattle University. If you have any questions for them, go ahead and put it in the Q&A at this point in time. All right, next up we have Regis University.
Hello. Let me pull this slide up for you. Cool. All right, thanks everybody. My name is Nick Corain. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at Regis University in Denver, Colorado. I also serve as the admissions counselor for students from the upper Midwest of the United States. To get started, so Regis University is located in the Highlands neighborhood, which is a residential pocket in the northwest corner of Denver, about 5 to 10 minutes outside of downtown proper. Denver is one of the most active, most educated, and fastest growing cities in the country, all things which create a wealth of opportunities for our students and graduates. Academically, our students really take advantage of the city via clinical rotations, our academic internship programs, and our community-based service learning projects with local nonprofit organizations. Socially, our students really love being close to some of the best concert venues in the world, 6 professional sports teams, and they enjoy living in a city that has over 300 days of sunshine year-round. If downtown is about 5 to 10 minutes south of our campus, then the Rocky Mountains kind of begin their rise about 15 to 20 minutes west of campus. So whether it's sunset hikes with your roommates or overnight excursions with our outdoor adventure program, having the mountains kind of in our backyard really feeds and inspires our appetite for adventure. Walking around campus day to day are about 3,000 total students, 2,000 of which are traditional undergraduates coming straight out of high school. This breaks down to an incoming first-year class of around 500 students each fall. On the screen is just a snapshot of our current first-year class who moved in just a few weeks ago. And our students come to us from all over the world, though a large chunk tend to come from Colorado, California, Texas, the Southwest, and the Midwest. Inside the classroom, our average class size is 17 students, and almost all of our classes are capped at 30 students. 100% of these classes are taught by professors who hold the terminal degrees in their fields of study. There are no TAs teaching classes at Regis. And honestly, like our students really thrive on the personal attention and community building opportunities that come from our size and the academic experience that we create. This is also a good time to point out that Regis is a liberal arts and sciences university. And like Seattle U, we are also a proudly part of the Jesuit network as one of the 27 Jesuit colleges across the country. As a Jesuit school, we genuinely care about the evolution of our students from the young adults that they come to us as and to accomplished and well-rounded citizens of the world. Academically, socially, spiritually, Jesuit education helps students to see the world and its nuances more clearly, to be sensible and sensitive to the challenges of others, and to work towards building a more just and humane world, regardless of your major. Fun fact, Regis is the only Jesuit school in the entire Rocky Mountain region. And Jesuit schools are known for their academic reputations, and Regis specifically is well known for its programs in the sciences, especially the health sciences. We're very lucky and very proud to have the #1 ranked nursing program in the state of Colorado. This is a direct entry nursing program for students who are interested. Our Doctor of Physical Therapy program is also ranked in the top 25 nationally as well. Beyond the sciences, majors in business, computer science, education, and the humanities represent other popular areas of study for our students. And as far as unique majors are concerned, we are one of a handful of schools in the country who offer a full Bachelor's of Science in Neuroscience. So if any of you are really into the brain and how and why it does what it does, let's chat. They do some really cool stuff in that program. As far as the admissions process is concerned, we are on rolling admissions, meaning students can submit their admission materials throughout the course of their final year in high school. For those of you interested in our direct entry nursing program, however, you'll need to apply by our December 1st priority deadline. And please make sure to list nursing as your intended major on your application when you do apply. Applying to Regis is free year-round. Students can submit the common application or our Regis application, and there's truly no preference. In addition to the app, we'll need an essay or a personal statement, which is honestly my favorite part of the process. We'll need your official high school transcript and at least one letter of recommendation from a teacher or a counselor. Regis is test optional for all undergraduate programs. This means applicants will receive maximum consideration for admission, scholarships, and financial aid, regardless of whether they submit test scores or not. Speaking of scholarships and financial aid, 100% of our students are receiving those things. If you add up tuition fees, room and board, our costs for this current school year are right around $52,000 a year. When we review your application for admission, we are also considering you for merit scholarships at that same time. These merit scholarships are non-competitive, so all students who qualify for one will receive one, and they range from $10,000 to $20,000 a year. Please make sure that you're also applying for financial assistance via the FAFSA. For those of you who may not be able to submit a FAFSA, we do have our own institutional application for need-based aid that you can submit instead. Applying for financial aid is important because last year our average financial aid package featured around $30,000 in scholarships and need-based grants. This is all money taken into consideration before any federal loans or student employment opportunities were considered. I'm also very happy to say that our students at Regis do really well once they graduate. 96% of our graduates are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduating from Regis. And our average starting salary for a Regis grad is $56,000 a year, which is about 9% higher than the national average. Because of our financial aid opportunities and because of the outcomes and the success of our students, we're very thankful and fortunate to be able to say that we were recently ranked as the #1 private school in Colorado for return on investment. And these sessions are great opportunities for you to learn more about different colleges and different schools. And all of us will strongly encourage you, if and when you can, to visit us on your own and in person or virtually. We're going to tell you a lot of great things about our school, but actually seeing and visiting campuses are going to be the best way to see if that really feels like a good fit for you as well. I will put my information in the chat, but with that being said, I appreciate your time today, and thank you and thank my colleagues for also being here too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Regis University. All right, next up, last but certainly not least, we have Wittenberg University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Natasha Wilhoit. I am an admission counselor at Windberg University. I'm also an alum. I graduated in 2017, and I'm so excited for you guys to be here. I just have some information that I'm excited to go over with you. And without further ado, I will go ahead and bring up my visuals. Okay. These are the top 10 things that we think everyone should know about Windberg. We are very student focused. So one of the highlights of this year is our Connections curriculum. This is a brand new curriculum that we rolled out for students. So we have revamped our general education requirements to make them more streamlined. We have developed it to make it more focused on what students' interests are, but also to make sure that we're teaching students the skills that employers are looking for. So we are focused on learning outcomes. So there are about 10 learning outcomes that we're focused on, but we want to make sure that they're in areas of interest for students. So rather than say a general English 101 course, you have different options of things you can take. So examples of that would be if you're interested in sociology, you could take sociological perspectives in education, or you could take Latin American revolutions. And those will teach you those core English skills that Wittenberg is known for developing in their students, but in an area of interest for you. Same for public speaking. So to get those skills for you, you can take global sociological entrepreneurship or adult health, health and wellness continuum. Students have the ability to take courses that can count for 2 learning outcomes. So instead of having to take one class that marks off each learning outcome, you can take some that will double up. So that makes it easier for students to double major, add a minor if they'd like, be more engaged on campus. We also have an experiential learning outcome requirement. So there are 3 of them that are required for students. So there's different ways that you can go about this. You could do community service, you could do an internship, leadership projects, things like that. Those can also double count. So that's taking all of those skills that you're learning in those courses that you're taking and applying them to real world situations. We have hands-on academic advising at Wittenberg. So when you come to Wittenberg, you will have an advisor who will be assigned to you. And then once you decide what your major is, you will get to pick advisor who is a professor within that academic program who will work with you over your 4 years at Wittenberg to develop your courses that you're going to take throughout the year to make sure that you're meeting all of those requirements for your major, but also making sure that you're taking courses that you're interested in. The top 5 majors at Wittenberg are biology, business, education, psychology, and nursing. We do have a lot of pre-health interest. So a lot of those students will major in biology. We have about a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So we do have pretty small class sizes. The largest class size we would have on campus is about 60 students, and that would be for one of our biology, introduction biology courses. However, those labs are divided into smaller groups. So you probably have about 10 to 15 students per lab. So that way you get more one-on-one interaction with your professor. We don't have teacher assistants at Wittenberg, so all of your interactions are with professors. We're also 4th in the nation for professor accessibility. We have required office hours for professors. So professors will let you know what their office hours are for that semester, the beginning, and anytime that they have those office hours, you can walk in and talk to them about anything. They're there to help. They're there for your success. They are really invested in you as an individual, and they want to make sure that you're successful in the classroom and outside of the classroom, so they can help you with anything that you're working on. We like to pick her up. So for athletics, we are Division III. We have 25 intercollegiate teams that compete. We also have athletics at the club level as well as intramural level. So depending on what level of interest you're in, we have options for everyone. Because we're a Division III school, we also have great partnership with our coaches and our faculty. So if you have a tournament that's coming up, your professors are going to work with you to make sure that you have everything that you need for the classes that you're going to miss, and your coaches understand that you're a student athlete, so they're going to make sure that you're getting everything that you need to be successful in the classroom as well. So this is a picture of our steamer. So this is a brand new facility as of about 2 years ago. It's an indoor track and field. It's not just for the athletic teams, it's also for students. So you'll see students and faculty who will walk on the track in between classes, during lunch breaks, things like that. It's state of the art, and it's a great place to kind of hang out and work out. We also like to make a difference at Wittenberg. So community service is a very big thing. We have students who serve at about an average of 50,000 hours per year. We have 45 community service partners in Springfield and abroad. So you have the opportunity to do community service pretty much anywhere. We have the Hagen Center that can connect you with service partners for whatever kind of service that you're interested in. Students are required to complete 30 hours of community service over their 4 years at Wittenberg. So just one semester, you would decide that that's the semester that you want to do your community service, and they'll be able to hook you up with someone that you're interested in. So some examples are in the pictures. We have food packing for Lesotho, Africa. We have a professor who was a Peace Corps representative in Lesotho. And after he came to Wittenberg and started teaching, he decided that he wanted to be more involved there. So we have student groups who will go and volunteer every other year in Lesotho, Africa, helping build orphanages, things like that. They also have a food packing event at Wittenberg every year, and they also organize it in local places as well. So that way we can help as much as possible. We have empty bowls. So students who are involved in ceramics will throw bowls throughout the year. And there is a day in the spring that people from the community can come and buy a bowl for $15, and all the proceeds go to the local food pantry. Let's see, we have a ton of study abroad options, so you can go anywhere in the world that you want to at Wittenberg. Some of our most popular study abroad programs are Wittenberg, Germany, Costa Rica, and Cape Town, South Africa. So those programs cost the same as your tuition. Basically, your tuition's all covered, your scholarships cover it. The only additional cost is your plane ticket. We also have additional study abroad opportunities. So like I said, Lesotho in South Africa is a big one for students to go and do service. We have Witten, Washington for students who are political science majors. We have Bahamas field study. So a lot of our biology and marine biology students will like to go to do that. And then we also have our Duke Marine Lab. Like I said, we do have a creative student body. So we have arts, music, and theater that are offered for students at Wittenberg. You can major, minor, or just be involved. We do offer additional scholarships for that as well. You can get $2,500 every year on your financial aid package if you either submit a portfolio or you audition, depending on what you're interested in. We have 18 groups and ensembles on campus. So those include a cappella groups, bands, and things of that nature. So on campus for leaders, we have about 30% of students on campus who do go Greek. We have about 40% of students who are varsity athletes at Wittenberg, and then we have over 100 student organizations and clubs. If there's a club or student organization that we don't have on campus that you're interested in, it's really easy to get it started. So we want to make sure that anything you want to be involved in at Wittenberg, you have the opportunity to do so. Some of the big activities for students are 4-Paws for Ability. So students for their community service can adopt a 4-Paws dog for the semester or for the year. You would do it with a co-handler, so another student, and basically you help socialize the dog. So you take them to class, things like that with you. We also have midnight breakfast during finals week, Whitfest, which is a big headliner who comes for a concert at the end of the year, and student activities fair. And then we are a residential campus, so students live on campus for the first 2 years in residence halls. The next 2 years, they live in the Wittenbergs, which are houses and apartments around Wittenberg that's owned by Wittenberg, so they would be your landlord. We have great results at Wittenberg. We have a 98% job placement rate. About 75% of our students do go on to get a higher degree after they graduate from Wittenberg. We have a strong alumni network. We have tons of internship opportunities and one-on-one advising, like I talked about before. So these are just some things to keep in mind. Deadlines to apply early decisions November 1st. That's finding early action is December 1st, and then we have rolling admission until May 1st. So you can apply through Common App or through our website. It's up to you. We just need your high school transcript. We are test optional, so you don't have to submit that if you don't want to. And then we do require an essay. And
Hey,
then
Natasha,
yes,
I'll have
I'm
to
so
cut you
sorry.
there. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Sorry, I know it's a lot.
That's all right. No worries. If you just wanted to quick show your contact information, or you could put it in the chat, that's totally fine too.
I'll put it in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Natasha, you can stay on video. The rest of my presenters and panelists, come on back if you can. That would be fantastic. You all are just going to basically join me in saying goodbye to our group this evening. Thank you all so much for being here, for presenting, for being just fantastic and awesome. And our attendees, thank you so much also for being fantastic and awesome. Couple things before we leave, okay? After you close the window, there's going to be a very quick 5-question survey that will appear. The words very quick are literally on your screen, so I promise it'll be very quick, okay? Sign up for more sessions. There are more sessions happening this evening as well as this weekend with the Cristo Rey Network. And remember, if mom missed out or you just want to relive the fun, a recording is available at strivescan.com/Cristo-Rey. With that said, you all, again, thank you so much. and have a great rest of your night. Bye, everybody.
Bye, thanks, Isabel.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.